Hi, I'm Michael from MDC, Brisbane. Today we're going to look at your XT14E, E meaning electric opening. Alright, so let's go look at your van. To start our journey, we're going to talk about things that you do before you come and turn up to us to pick up your van. One is make sure that you've got a brake controller in your car. The brake controller will assist you in your brakes on your van. Okay, with that you need the 12-pin plug, which has got the bottom 7 exactly the same as a normal flat 7. Alright, but we have another wire going to the number 12 pin, which gives you power for your breakaway system. The other thing is your 50 amp Anderson plug, so that's 50 Anderson plug. So that's going to help you with your charging of your batteries. So you've got a full battery system when you get to where you're going. Also guys, you need to remove the tow ball off your car. Now saying that, your tongue needs to look like this when you turn up. Okay, so ball off. Okay, so we can attach our receiver that goes on the DO35 or polyblock, whichever, so therefore we can get you on the road. On hooking up from your van to your car guys, we have a DO35 hitch. All the same on the XT range, okay? So basically it's just a pin that goes underneath it. Basically once you're over the top, with the jockey wheel you wind down as far as it goes, as in like once the jockey wheel becomes loose, all ball weight is here, push the red button. That means it's locked on. Okay, so once this button is pushed and this little arc comes forward, that means it's locked on. To get it off, push the button down, push that back, release the button, and you open up the throat, and then you wind the jockey wheel off. But we're hooking up at the moment, so button down, and then 12-pin plug, plug that in just there, secure it. Your Anderson plug, 50 amp, charging of the batteries, plug that in, and then chain. By law, you have to cross the chains, okay? So it does a support roll for anything should happen. Okay, once you cross your chains, what it does, it acts as a cradle. So if anything should fail here, it falls into a cradle, so it supports the towing of the van. Obviously you'll know it's coming off. Instead of, if the chains were straight up and down to there, what it could happen is it could dig in, essentially flip on the car, and that's what we don't want. Alright, so hence why you've got to cross your chains. Also, breakaway unit. Now this must be attached to your chassis, not to your chains, alright? Has to be to the chassis of your car. So, easiest part on this car is around this bar that's here. If your van comes detached from the car, this, your breakaway unit, on this wire, it pulls out, okay? And then it activates the electric brakes that are in there. So the brake comes on so it doesn't career around the road or anything. Comes on, so you can push that back in, resets everything. And then jockey wheel up. So pull the pin, swing it up, make sure those pins go back in through here, handle up, handbrake off. You're done, you're ready to go. On your jockey wheel here guys, every time you're taking it off from the car, be it camping, at home, whatever, what I would suggest is have the wheel running crossways across your van. Not vertical with the van, but crossways with your van. It seems to support your A-frame a lot better. But also, when you're reversing on, if you miss it a little bit, you're able to move on the wheel itself, not move the whole jockey wheel. So you're moving on the wheel first. So for safety reasons and so forth, and that, make sure you're having your jockey wheel run across your van. On all your caravans guys, you have 4 stabilizers, okay? 2 at the front, 2 at the rear. All right, easy is take a bit of pressure off, pull the handle, pull them down so it's nice and vertical. Get your wind down bar, pop it in there, wind her out. Now remembering that this is a stabilizing unit for your van. This is not a jack, this is not a jacking point, all right? Your jacking points are here, all right, just in front of that. Basically, if you did get a flat tire and so forth, put these down for safety reasons, but these are stabilizers only for your van. On the XT14 at the front stone guard here is a solid stone guard. You got diesel fuel just on this side and jerry cans in behind it, but you got your LPG storage box. This contains 2 9-kilo gas bottles. When you're hooking up your gas, check your O-ring, just make sure it's all perfect. Put it in the space provided. Once you've got the proper seal on there, you'll go hook up the rest of your kitchen, and then you'll come and turn on the gas. And when you do, lock it away, or you can actually, over center catch, you can actually lock it away. All right, so just make sure that your gas is turned off when not in use. You do have 2 tanks. It's basically your filling up point, up to mains water or filling your tanks up. So the one on the left is filling your water tanks, right is mains water pressure. All right, just underneath that is your breather for when you're filling up your tanks. When hooking up the mains water, you've got to get a 3/4 inch Nilex or Nita product to go in there so you can hook up to mains water, and then all your taps and everything would come live, but that's what you need to hook up to your mains water pressure. And this little bad boy, when you are hooked up to that, you can leave it closed and coming out of there. Everything underneath the van is all food grade. The poly tanks, the hoses, they're all food grade. So filling it up, do not use your garden hose, go out to Bunnings and buy some food grade hose. The next one along is basically your shower. You've got 2 nozzles in there, hot and cold, and obviously the hot will come on where if you're using your hot water, and this is your little valve basically for flow of water. Okay, when you're not in use, just hang that up there. And then the flushing point here, so that's your grey water flushing point. Now grey water is from the shower and the sink inside, so therefore you open that up, you can flush that out. Stick your finger in there to get the right size hose that you're going to flush your grey water tank. Once your grey water is full and so forth, it's just down under the rear. Okay, you'll see a tap, you can open up, you dump it, but this is when you want to flush it out, get a bit of bad smells out of there because it's been there for a while. Another little feature is a tap on the front end. You know, if you need to wash your hands, the little ones that got dirty fingers or whatever want to wash their hands, once you've got your water pump on or plugged into mains water, right, this becomes activated. All right, so simple as just turn and tap. To the front of the van, 2 compartments here. All right, it's storage. The one at the front is slightly bigger than one in the rear. Whatever fits, fits. If it don't fit, don't force it. So in these storage compartments as well, you've got little touch lights. Once they're turned on, and that just gives you a little bit more light so you can see if you've got things stored away in there. So just gives you a bit of light. In your second compartment, you have your kitchen slide. Now there's a partition that splits this compartment up. Now beside this partition in your kitchen slide is a storage little unit. So therefore this is where all your poles and everything go for your electric awning and your canvas and such, but it's also a nice place to put other bits and pieces. All right, so there's plenty of room in there to add some more gear, but that's where your poles, your kitchen leg and so forth go in there. On your XT range guys, through your door, this door, because it's at the rear of the van, handle forward, key in, turn it forward, locks. When you want to open your van, key in, don't touch the handle, turn it to the back, you'll hear it unlock, it'll open up. So when you want to open it, it's key to the back. When you want to lock it, handle forward, key forward. You see a little chrome strip around the door. You can easily just pop that up, comes around, and it goes into that little bad boy there. So it latches your door back. You also have a second latch for your door. The drop-in pin holds your door in a second position. You don't have to go all the way back to the van. And also with your doors, you have a handle, a big handle inside, and you've got a little handle here. Basically you pop that up and it separates the door. You close it, clip, clip. If you're inside your van and you want to lock yourself in, all it is, turn the chrome knob. It's locked. Open it, flick it back, handle up, and it'll open it. And this is how you operate the steps. So basically, just pull out and lock it into place. And when you want to put it away, slightly lift and just push. On all your vans, guys, you have recovery points. Now these recovery points are rated to 3 3/4 ton. All right, so therefore, basically what you got to do is unhook from your car and hook up to these for safety purposes, because some good Samaritan might come up behind you, want to drag you out, and these can actually get ripped out because you're trying to snatch too much out of there. All right, so basically unhook from your car, recovery points, we'll pull you out, not a problem. One of the features on your XT14E is on the right rear panel is where your Thetford toilet is. So to get to your toilet, obviously you unlock it, top button, bottom button, opens up. To fill, you need to just pop that down ever so slightly, bring that out, undo the top, water in there, fills up a little reservoir, right, and the water level comes up here on the side. So you know when it's full and when it's empty. Also, once it's full, you put the cap on, just pull it down ever so slightly and replace it back under there. So just swing it back away. Okay, so also when you're taking the unit out, it's just a little green level down the bottom, a little hatch. Basically lift that up and slide that out. You'll hear the unit itself closing this back up, right, because it's a level inside that basically just closes that back up. When you pull that out, hit that button, depressurize, put the wheels down on the ground, pop the handle down, it extends, and all you do is go on for a walk. Once you get to your dump point, obviously nozzle up, unscrew the top, comes out. You actually physically got to pick it up and turn it upside down to get all the gear out. Once you've done that, place it back on the ground, lid back on, turn it away, pop the handle again and go for another walk, come back to your van. For the chemicals that go in here, guys, this is a little measuring cup. So once you've done all the chemical things, guys, basically pick it back up and slide it back home. On the XT14, the second compartment down is basically your kitchen. So 2 knobs, undo those, lay it down. Secondary lock again, lift that up, blue tab, handle, pull her out. Locks it in place. There's 2 bungee cords, one either side, just undo those. You have an extra servery here, extension bench, basically a windbreak. And once you lift this up, you've got a windbreak from both sides. And then your sink is under the second glass top down under here. So a nice deep sink and your drainer just beside it. You've got 2 drawers in front. They're just utensil drawers, so basically one's a little bit wider than the other. Okay, so obviously some things will fit in here and some things will fit in here. All right, so, and they're basically soft closed when you get to the bottom of it. And just make sure that those handles are down, because what you don't want is hitting the partition there on the way back in. Here, guys, is your stabilizer for your kitchen. So it's your kitchen leg. So basically what you do, you just pop it under, extend it out, lift the kitchen up about 5 to 10 mil, do the nut up. That's all you got to do. Your gas bayonet fitting on for your kitchen, you take it out of the bottom and you hook it up and it's just down the back. So push, turn to the right, it's just the bayonet. The water is already plumbed, so you don't have to hook it up or anything. So basically your water is plumbed to your kitchen already. Your 12 volt comes out the same place where your gas does, so it comes out through the bottom and just plug her in. Okay, so lighting the kitchen. Once you've got your gas plumbed and then gas turned on the front, you push your knob in, turn it to the flame, you hit your little clicker and it'll light the gas. You hold it on for 5 seconds, then you let it go and obviously bombs away. You put your pot, fry pan or whatever on there. Just on your domestic burners, guys, because you've got glass, this is a tempered glass, all right, so you can't close the lid until it's cooled down, all right? It does say 15 or 20 minutes on either. I'll say at least half an hour, because if you do put that down and it's still hot, this can crack and shatter, and that's what you don't want. All right then, so packing your kitchen away. As you pull it out, it's just doing everything in reverse, all right? So you pop this open, you unplug your gas, your drain hose, your 12 volt, so you unpack that up and pop it back up through the hole and neatly arrange it underneath there. You close lids and so forth. When you are packing your little windbreak, your stainless one at the side, basically it's just got a little stainless lip on it and it slides in a little crevice there. So you picked up out of there, you lay it down and there's another one there, so you just slide that back in. And then your extension of your bench, drop that over, bungee cords front and back, push down, unlock. Once moving, let the blue tab go and push it all the way in, locks into place, and then you put your secondary lock in as well. On your XT14E, the front compartment on the passenger side, so left hand side of your van, is your fridge slide. So basically just a black knob, just undo it. Your secondary lock, take off, push down your blue button, handle, pull it out, let that blue button go and drag her out. It locks into place. These are your tie down points through here. And I've just wrapped them through the handle, pull them down and do exactly the same at the back, so she doesn't slide around in travel. You've got 2 access points for power, one being a 12 volt and one being a 50 amp Anderson plug. Okay, so they're just here tucked on the right hand side. On the left hand side, you've got a touch light, so you can light her up and you need to see. Just mentioning about the fridge slide as well, guys. Yes, your kill switch, main switch, must be turned on, and also your fridge on there, or else it doesn't complete the circuit, so you will not get power to your fridge, so therefore you will have hot beer and such. Your electric awning outside is hooked up to your main battery. All it is, open the door, hit the button, opens up. It's all electric, so you don't have much to do. When it's coming out, if any wind is hitting you in the face, be safety conscious and just hold your awning. Okay, because what you don't want is a massive gust coming and ripping this clean off your caravan, all right? So 2 or 3 fingers on here. You don't have to have any pressure on it, all right? It's just there just in case. And while you're all holding onto it, guys, what you don't have to do is you don't have to run over and hit the stop button. When it gets out to a certain point, it will stop automatically. So retrieving your legs. Pop one end, slide your hand along, pop the other end, straight down. And I find it the easiest way is to stay on the inside of it, okay? Undo that. You can use that as a slide to slide it out. All right, extend it down to here. The bottom goes in, slip that back down, and once you get to the desired level, the inside one, you just tighten her up and lock her into place. With your electric awning, you've got 2 options for your legs, okay? So when you do pop it off, if you do not want to go back to the van, undo, straight down, you peg it to the ground. These 2 little doovalackies, all right? One is your manual override for your electric awning, all right? And this is your adjusting tool. So basically, if you pull out these wires or something happens where you can't use the electrics on your electric awning, this is your manual override. Basically, it just goes up inside here, and you wind this. And then if something did happen, it comes in wrong, it gets thrown about on the wind or something, this is your manual override for your adjusting tool. And they sit side by side like that, up inside the cradle in here. Okay, obviously guys, you've got to unpeg, you loosen off here, that slides back up, all right? Have your right hand up here as you're pushing that in as you swing it up, so it slips in there. Make sure that this is square here, so it folds in nice and flush. Pop that lid, all right, it comes out, you slide that up, you lock it off, swing that up, make sure that that's flat at that end, clips in. And then you come over here, you got open and close, so therefore you just push the button, close, and it comes in. When you want to open your roof and your XT14E, basically there's 4 over center catches, 1 on each corner. You've got to unlatch those first, and then go inside and turn your power on, and then there's a little switch for your roof, and then you grab your remote, which is this one here, and you just hit up. The roof will go up. So when you come into the van, guys, on your XT14E, the switch panel is here. So turn the kill switch on and turn one of those on, whichever you want to use, be it roof, toilet, fridge, whichever. So turn them on so you complete circuit, so you've got power going to that item at all times. For some reason, if it's not working, just hit the fuse at the top twice to reset above, turn it back on. If that doesn't work, take them out and have a look just to see if everything's working okay in there. Alright, so it's a little pointy nose pliers, you take them out, bang, have a look at the fuse. Just in this compartment as well, you've got your voltmeter and your amps. Obviously, amps are what draws, volts are what you got. Just make sure at any present time you never drop below 12.2. Okay, so 12.2 is your cutoff point where you need to charge your van up. You're at 40%, you're endangering to losing your AGM battery. Your power source on the outside of your van is 15 amp. So when you get a 15 amp lead, you can plug it into the front, so you got 240 in. That comes in handy. One, you want to top up your batteries, and two, if you got aircon, you have to be running on at least a 3 kVA or 240. And don't forget, when you're plugged into here, it's only when those 10 amp poles inside that they come alive. Also, when you're plugged into 240, guys, don't have your extension cord coiled really tight. It's got to have a little bit of space about it. So meter and a half, as in loop wise, the RCD units will trip out and such, but so long loops. Now, whilst at home, if you haven't got a 15 amp at home and you need to charge it, go to Bunnings and buy yourself an adapter. It's called an amphibian adapter from 10 to 15, because you must maintain your batteries in your van. Okay, with any electrical problems, guys, what you need to do is come in and check your RCD unit. All right, see if it's tripped out. So if any faults come through, come and check this little unit first. There's two compartments under the dinette. The furthest one's closest to the bed, is where you'll find all your batteries, your inverters, your chargers, your DC charger. It's got circuit breakers in there, it's got main breakers, everything is in this compartment here. Just at the front of this compartment, it's got a breather, but it's also got a finger hatch. So if you want to plug something into your inverter, obviously the extension cord goes into there, you plug it into your inverter in there, and that's where you place it through. Just a quick summary on your electrics, on your projector electrics in your vans. Okay, so your 240 charger, obviously here you got a switch that turns it on, and this is where you can relate to. It goes through your battery type and so forth. Just at the top there, it's all calcium, gel, AGM, and wet battery. So therefore, if you do want to change out the batteries, you get onto that setting. So basically you can choose what's going on in there. Your IDC25 DC charger, obviously that relates to solar and so forth. Charging light, that'll be green. That means it's working. That's working off the solar. And then also if it goes to alternator, which is off your car. Okay, so if that flashes red, you know there's a little bit of a problem. If it's flashing green at the top, you know she's working fine. And obviously your 1000 watt modified inverter, you got to turn that on when you need to, when you want to use it, because what the inverter does, it converts all your battery energy to 240 energy. That's why you've got to plug into here. That's why in any van, if you've got 10 amp poles inside, basically they do not come alive until you're plugged into 240. This changes the 12 volt to 240 so you can plug things in. So this is a 1000 watt modified. So basically anything that you want to run, you check on the back of any unit. If it runs more than 1000 watts, well, you can't use it. If it's under that, you're gonna be fine. You also have a master switch, that's here. If that little lever there is popped out like that, that means things have tripped out. You pop that back up. Right, that's one of your master switches. And also you've got all these circuits where positive and negative come onto there. There's a little button on the inside of here, so that's how you reset everything. Okay, so you just push that button back in just to make sure it's all working fine. Basically you've got 10 amp plugs here, and again they only come live when you're plugged into 240. You've got a 12 volt and USB, and that's through your battery system. So if you want to do any of that, you can just do it through there. In your XT14, while you're sitting here on your dinette on the driver's side, just below the bed in front of your knees here is where your diesel heater, you start your diesel heater and you start your trim or hot water system. So everything's all nice and close, and above the seat on this side is where your RCD unit and your remote for your projector unit is just above me on the left hand side here. Alright, so everything is in nice neat proximity of one another. And just underneath the other seat over the other side, the dinette, is just storage. Under that same dinette in the XT14, in the first compartment here is where all your hoses are. So your water pump and so forth, so your filling, your mains water, and everything is just under the first compartment in here. So just lift it up and have a look in there and you'll know what I'm talking about. With your trim hot water system, make sure it's turned on in here. Your gas is turned on at the front. There's an ignition point just here at the front, and then just hit the button, make sure it ignites, and then 15 minutes before you got hot water. If the red light comes on, you just got to reset, then have another go at it. Once you've turned your trim or hot water system on inside, this is your exhaust. Open this up. Now it shows you how to take this off. Basically push your thumbs in, it splits the top, it comes off. So you must release this as soon as you turn your hot water system on. So once you've lit your hot water system and you've taken your cover off, what I would ask you to do, guys, is basically come and check it at 2 minutes and 8 minutes. Come and check with the back of your hand. If heat's coming out, all good. If it's not coming out, redo it, because basically with the lines that aren't purged properly, it'll light, but because air blocking behind it, it's going to go out. So you might have to go and do it 2 or 3 or 4 times so the air comes out of it and the gas comes through the lines. In this particular model, you've got a diesel heater. Again, you've got to have it turned on in your electrical department up top there, and then hit the button. All right, hold on for a couple of seconds. Basically, you've got to have it at high for about probably 3 or 4 minutes, and then turn it down to the temperature you would like, and it just keeps the room nice and toasty. This is your vent here, so basically it'll come out, warm up the room. But it's when you turn it off, you turn it off here, but you don't turn it off with the main switch until it's wound itself down, and it winds it down. It's like a little turbo. It winds itself down, so it takes about 2 or 3 minutes to wind down. Your tank is at the front. If for some reason you run out of diesel, please do not come out here while it's running and put more diesel in it. You have to let it shut down, you have to let it wind down, and then come in here, pop more diesel in it, and then go back in and light it again. Please do not fill it up whilst it's running. There's a table that you can attach. Okay, so this bottom handle down here raises the height and such, up, down, block it off, and then it swivels around at the top. So you can have it in, you can undo that and take it all the way out, not use it at all if you like, if you want to get into bed and such, but this is your movable table. In your XT14, just inside the doorway you have a fridge. You've got to obviously still come and turn your mains on. You've got to turn your fridge toilet button on here. So when you go to turn your fridge on, it's the bottom button. There's 5 settings of how cold you want it in there. You just choose what you want, and 3 or 4 is always pretty good, as you know, keeping everything nice and chilled. Above your main switch here is your water gauge. Just give that a flick. It'll come on, it'll tell you how much water you've got in each tank, and don't forget you've got a grey water tank in this one as well, so it'll just show you what grey water you got and what fresh water you got. With the internal windows, guys, it's got little grey buttons there. You must push that button in and move the handle. Push the button in and move the handle. Please don't just yank on it, because you'll break the internal lock. All right, the window itself goes out to 3 positions. All right, once you hear the click, stop. You go too far, you release it, it'll come back in. All right, so therefore we go out to, see that? I released it. Once you feel a click, stop. I want to release it, bring it back in. All right, you'll hear that click. Well, you know it's locked back into place. Also, when you close them, guys, there is 2 little latches in here where you can go into the center or go completely on the inside of it. All right, if you go into the center, it leaves a little gap for ventilation. All right, so at night time, if you want a little bit of air, fine, but when you're traveling, it's got to be on the inside one, the internal one, or else you're just going to fill up with dust. Also, with your window, you have a fly screen that comes down, and you have a privacy screen that comes up, which you can go half and half if you wish. Just clip them together as such. All right, separate. Just go slowly. Don't be in a rush. You're on holidays, you don't need to be in a rush. Just push them away slowly, that's all you need to do. With your shower hatch, guys, what it is, you got a little button on here, turns the light on, you got a little swivel, so just turning of that, opens up the hatch. You got a neutral switch in there, you've got an external fan that takes that out, or you got one that blows in. Alright, so you can just have it any way you want. Above your main sleeping area, you have a hatch in your roof. Basically, it's got the same tabs as the windows. So basically, you've still got a button, you've still got to push it on both sides. You got a handle that swings down, and then you can open it up and push it up. There's only one setting, it's either opened or closed on this one. You have got privacy and also fly screen. You can do a 50-50 if you like, but what I will warn you against is when it's closed up and you're not using it, okay, and you have your blind across, what it does, it builds up a lot of heat, a lot of hot air in between the two surfaces. So what I will tell you to do is not have that closed up. I want to let the air come through, not with the hatch open, but so it circulates a little bit more, so you have a 40-degree day in between those two areas. It can go up to 70-75 degrees. All right, so just make sure that that's open so that filtrates through, so you don't get any warping of these two units. So with your aircon, it is only run on 240 or at least a 2.5 kVA Jenny, so you have to be plugged into the 240 outside to run your air. It will not run off your battery system. In each one of the vans, they come with a smoke alarm, so that's compulsory. You have to come with a smoke alarm, but it's up to you as the individual to make sure you change your batteries out. All right, so yes, it comes with a smoke alarm, but you have to change it out. It's placed in certain places in the roof. All right, each van is a different spot, but you'll have a smoke alarm in every van. Also in each van, guys, in one of the drawers, there'll be a little booklet. All right, each booklet will contain whatever the van has got, be it hot water system, diesel, air cons, radios, blah, blah, blah. There's a little satchel here. It's got everything in there, so just have a read up of it. All right, and then if you need to, you go to your user's manual and you troubleshoot and so forth from there. On your caravans, guys, it doesn't really matter if it's a 12, 14, 15 or whichever, your tyre pressures and your wheels and everything is all part about being maintenance, right? So therefore you've got to make sure you maintain everything. Each van has its own manual that you can download. So you can get the checklist off there and go through it, so that you know what you've got to do at any particular time. Okay, your wheel pressures, all right? I always say, whatever you're running on the end of your car, so it might be 40. You may have to go up to 45, you may have to go up to 50, 55, depending how you weigh your van. If there's too much weight in the back of it, you might have to up your pressures in your tyre. Basically, you just got to maintain your tyre pressures at all time. You go on the beach, you drop them to a point. When you come back on the bitumen, you'll take it up, all right? Also, for your wheel studs, 14mm wheel studs, they're the biggest ones on the market. You've got to keep tension on them, where you supply with wheel brace. So basically it's making sure it's taut, but not ridiculously like jumping on the wrench itself. So make sure it's tight, and you've got to check it at 50, 150, 500. But also you've got to check it every day once you're traveling. If you're going on congregations for 2 or 3 or 4 days, you check it every morning. It's about a safety thing. On every one of the vans, you have a plaque on the drawbar that shows you how to do your wheel nuts up. So it's on a star pattern, okay? You don't go around any clockwise or clockwise, whichever. It's a star pattern, so it goes on evenly. Bearings, all right? If you do any salt water, beach work, anything like that, check them more regularly than 5,000, 10,000, okay? It's common sense on all of this maintenance through your vans. It doesn't matter if it's a 12 up to a 22. It's make sure you do the maintenance. On conclusion of your XT14, what I will tell you to do is make sure you download your manuals. 2, make sure you do all your repair work you need to do, maintenance tips, batteries, bearings, everything like that. Okay, with that, our teamwork at MDC helps dream work for yourselves. Go out, enjoy yourself, make memories and escape with confidence.